On the night of February 3, a drone attack took place on a gas refinery in the Astrakhan region of Russia. Local Telegram channels reported this. Ukrainian-owned kamikaze drones struck the gas refinery. As a result, an explosion and fire occurred. There were no reports of casualties. The plant is one of the main energy facilities in Russia, producing gas condensate, gasoline and diesel fuel.
О, смотри, идет сюда. Офигеть, сейчас. Вот, видели эту волну? Просто жесть. А как светло было, вообще капец. Так, ну я думаю, что пора, парни, блядь.
Ukrainian troops struck over 25 strategic facilities, including military-industrial complex factories, refineries and oil depots during January, head of the Center for Countering Disinformation, Andre Kovalenko, reported on Saturday. Ukraine struck a large number of Russian facilities in the past few weeks, according to research by Canal 13. On January 24, Ukrainian kamikaze drone attack caused fire in Russia's Ryazan oil refinery, which is among the largest oil facilities in the country. On the same day, Ukrainian drones hit Diaglevo Military Air Base storing two 95V Tu-22 Russian bombers. Another oil base came under Ukrainian drone attack in Lysky city in Voronezh region on the night leading to January 21, followed by a drone attack on an aviation factory in Voronezh region. The factory in Voronezh was producing Su-25 fighter jets. Ukrainian drones also targeted aviation and helicopter factories in Russia's Tatarstan Republic. The facilities in the city of Kazan were producing Tu-160 missile carriers and Tu-22M3M/Tu-22M3 bombers. The drone attacks were also carried out on an oil bases in Russia's Tula region on January 18. A major attack on Saratov region on January 14 disrupted the work of Kristall oil facility in Engels city. The oil base supplied fuel to the Engels 2 military airfield, where strategic aviation is located. Ukraine has stepped up attacks on Russia's key oil and industry facilities in recent months in response to Russia's targeting of Ukraine's residential infrastructure.
Russia held talks with the new leader of Syria, Ahmed al-Shara, at which, in addition to compensation for damages, it was demanded to extradite former President Bashar al-Assad, whom Moscow is sheltering. But according to Sergei Danilov, deputy director of the Center for Middle Eastern Studies, the extradition of Assad by Russia to the new government in Syria is absolutely disadvantageous. He told to Glavred media outlet that because then he will start talking and obviously his fate will be completely different from Gaddafi's. He will be tried, not killed. He will start talking about everything, about Russia, about how they planned strikes on Aleppo together, were involved in drug business and many other things which are very disadvantageous for Russia. Therefore, in fact, not even financial compensation for the Syrian cities destroyed by Russian bombing, but the transfer of Assad is a serious problem for Russia in the demands that the new government of Syria has de facto put forward, the expert added. According to him, therefore, the Russians will try to act traditionally, to look for the weak points of the new government, to demonstrate their usefulness, to create problems, and at the same time to offer their solution to bribe the right people. They will also look for personal gain for Shara or certain people in his circle to pit certain factions of Islamists who come to power against each other, to create problems for them and to solve them after some time when they become a threat to Shara or the new government. That is, Russia will use all the gangster methods that were used by criminal groups in the 1990s in Russia and Ukraine. And in general, the Russian Federation will invest in instability in Syria. They will invest resources so that different factions fight among themselves, so that radical extremist forces on both sides, among the Islamists, the remnants of the former regime, the Kurds, and ethno-confessional minorities, antagonize, he added. According to him, the goal is one: to reduce the legitimacy of power and make it weak. If Shara completely refuses to play by Russia's rules, its best option would be to turn Syria into an uncontrolled state where there are many centers of power, so that in each region or city there are separate field commanders with whom it will be necessary to negotiate, because then a strong, centralized state will not be able to expel Russian troops. Can Turkey and the US prevent this? It is unknown, because this is always a dynamic process. There is never a clear answer to such questions in advance. Why don't smart people start a war? Because war never has a predictable outcome, unless you have a 10 or 100 times advantage over your opponent. In the Syrian scenario, there is no such advantage. So theoretically, it is possible to thwart Russia's plans, but in practice, no one knows the answer.